Can you give us an update on Henderson then, please, Crookie? What is the very latest?
Yeah, it's interesting to hear Ali saying there won't be a shortage of takers in the Premier League. I think on his current salary, and obviously we're hearing different amounts. Is it 700 grand a week? Is it 350 grand a week? Either way, when it comes to the Premier League, I think there's very little chance of any club matching that salary, which is going to make it difficult, I think, for Henderson to come back to English football at this moment in time. We've mentioned already this week about some top European clubs who he has been offered to, the likes of Bayern Munich and Bayer Leverkusen over in Germany. Napoli have been mentioned to me as well in Italy, and obviously Ajax this morning. So I think if Jordan Henderson does leave Saudi Arabia, and that's by no means guaranteed, we've been hearing from Ben Jacobs over the last 48 hours that Al Ettifaq and the Saudi Pro League don't particularly want to lose Jordan Henderson, then I think a move to Europe is the strongest possibility. But certainly Henderson is pushing to get out, and I think a fear that he won't be selected by Gareth Southgate for the Euros at the end of the season is the biggest factor.
Alex, I think this was always going to end in trouble. You know, they get a crowd of 9,000 and they haven't
900.
900, is it?
Yeah.
I thought it was 9,000.
No.
Oh, dear. Well, that's just pointless, isn't it? That's pointless. I'm sorry. Regardless of 30 million. Fuck you.
So it's not, I take your point, but it's not really pointless.
Yeah, but you know, at the end of the day, it was always going to happen, wasn't it? Let's be honest. Come on.
Crookie,
No?
tell me, Crookie, listen, Big Al and I have been laughing all morning. The good news for Timo Werner is he's been given the Jamie O'Hara vote of confidence. But is there any more is there any more activity over at Spurs?
Yeah, it looks like there could be. Again, we've been covering this for probably the best part of a week now. Radu Drăgușin, Romanian centre-back, Genoa, Ange Postecoglou's top target to fill that position. Nervous evening for Tottenham last night because Bayern Munich also submitted a formal bid that was accepted by Genoa. So basically, it comes down to a straight choice for Drăgușin. Does he want to go to Bayern or does he want to join Tottenham? I was being told yesterday Spurs were still fairly confident of getting this deal done, and sources in Italy this morning suggesting, nothing official yet, that Radu Drăgușin will indeed choose Tottenham over Bayern Munich. So I think Spurs want to get this deal wrapped up pretty quickly. The whole package is worth around £25 million. It would also involve Jed Spence, who of course was sent back from a loan spell at Leeds earlier this month, going out on loan to Genoa as part of the deal. So it looks like good news potentially for Tottenham this morning.
Any whispers on Brentford? Are they in the market for some? I'm just thinking of what could happen to Tony, that's all.
I think Tony will stay out. Obviously, again, we touched on that topic a few times. He gave an interview with our colleague Darren Lewis over the course of the weekend, hinting strongly that he felt he owed it to Brentford to stay and score the goals to help keep them in the Premier League and also fire himself into the England squad for the Euros. I wondered if they might make a play for Saïd Benrahma, who's a player that West Ham were willing potentially to listen to offers for, but West Ham have had some bad injury news over the last couple of days. McElhenney is going to miss the next 6 weeks. And I was being told yesterday that Jarrod Bowen's ankle injury is looking potentially serious as well. So not only will that have a knock-on effect for Benrahma, but maybe for Danny Ings as well, who's got interest from the likes of Wolves. So, yeah, bad news for West Ham and Jarrod Bowen in particular, because, of course, he's another player who would be confident if he can continue what's been an excellent season, that he'd be on the plane with England.
What about, dare I say it, we Chelsea missed a hatful last night, taking nothing away from Middlesbrough, of course, but Chelsea missed a hatful. No news that Arsenal might be trying to sneak someone in there that can maybe find the back of the net?
As I say, quiet at this moment in time. The Arsenal players and their partners have gone off to Dubai for a bit of winter training. I know that was pre-planned even before their FA Cup exit, but I just don't think Arsenal have the funds out to bring in the type of number 9 that's going to make the difference between them potentially winning a first title in more than 2 decades and not. Ivan Toney is going to cost at least £80 million, maybe nearer £100 million. Certainly that's what Brentford are hoping for come the summer. Victor Osimhen, who would be another target, certainly for Chelsea. I know he's high on their wanted list, but he's just signed a new contract to Napoli with a huge release clause. So where do you go? There's been talk of Dominic Solanke. I tend to think that maybe he needs to do it on a more regular basis. You know, he's had a real purple patch under Andoni Iraola, but if you look at his goals record in the Premier League before this season, it doesn't really make great reading. So number 9s are difficult to find, particularly at this time of the year in this window. Maybe you two could lace up your boots. I'm sure you'd be worth a few quid this month.
He's just battered about 4 custard creams down his face in the last 10 minutes, Crookie, so I'm ruling that out, mate. Listen, Crookie, I want to ask you, we listened to Benty and Andy yesterday, right? They were having a discussion over Bruno Fernandes at Manchester United, pros and cons, and how they both feel that he's done, and the differing opinions. Where do you sort of stand on it?
I probably lean towards the Andy Goldstein argument, to be honest. I don't say that very often, but I think Bruno Fernandes, over the course of his Manchester United career, has been a really important player, particularly in those lockdown times. Actually, he was just about the driving force for United. I understand the histrionics don't necessarily go down well, but I think he is still capable of finding the pass to create that killer opportunity, scoring goals himself. I don't think Bruno Fernandes is a main issue at Manchester United. No. Now, we spoke about this briefly after the game on Monday night. I'd be more worried about what's happened to Marcus Rashford and his dramatic decline. Yeah, I'm starting to worry about Rasmus Højlund. I'm starting to worry about Rasmus Højlund as well, boys. You know, there's only so long, and Darwin Núñez comes into this category as well, that you can say he's got potential. He gets himself in spaces. You know, I'd be more worried if he was not getting opportunities. But if you keep missing opportunities, you missed a couple of sitters on Monday night, sooner or later you have to start to question the investment. United paid huge money for Rasmus Højlund. At the moment, they haven't seen a return.
It's a funny one, Crook, you're looking at before I let you go, because I'm the same. And there's a couple of United fans been on, you know, saying I'm, you know, giving him a bit of stick in that. But that said, I do like him because I like his work rate, I like his movement, I like his aggression. But you're right, mate. His level of finishing has to improve. The header he's got to score the other night, I mean, he's just got to get that on target. If he gets it in target, it's a goal, unless he's really unlucky and it hits the keeper. And even the one that can back at him kind of quick, I still think he should score that as well, Crookie.
Yeah, I'm with you on both. Just on Manchester United briefly, by the way, a daily Jadon Sancho update. We are expecting a formal announcement from United that they've agreed terms with Borussia Dortmund over this loan move for Sancho. I don't know the exact figure yet, but that will be dependent on whether Dortmund qualify for the Champions League next season and the number of games he plays. But United are going to have to pay quite a big percentage of his wages as well.
100 grand, I'm told. 100 grand. That's the rumour bandied about.
But that saga should come to an end.
Crikey. Alex, thank you. And
thanks, Crookie.
Get down that pool hall,
yeah,
please.
Yeah, so sorted it, son.
For all the day's biggest sports stories, you can head over to our website, talksport.com.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Alan Brazil. Thursday and Friday morning, 6 till 10. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.